English story. Story 1. Helping others. Once there was a small boy named Shankar. He belonged to a poor family. One day, he was crossing through the forest carrying some woods. He saw an old man who was very hungry. Shankar wanted to give him some food, but he did not have food for his own. So he continued on his way. On his way, he saw a deer who was very thirsty. He wanted to give him some water, but he did not have water for himself. So he went on his way ahead. Then he saw a man who wanted to make a camp, but he did not have woods. Shankar asked his problem and gave some woods to him. In return, he gave him some food and water. Now he went back to the old man and gave him some food and gave some water to the deer. The old man and the deer were very happy. Shankar then happily went on his way. However, one day Shankar fell down the hill. He was in pain, but he couldn't move, and no one was there to help him. But the old man, who he had helped before, saw him. He quickly came and pulled him up the hill. He had many wounds on his legs. The deer, whom Shankar had given water, saw his wounds and quickly went to the forest and brought some herbs. After some time, his wounds were covered. All were very happy that they were able to help each other. Story 2. The Armed Champion. A young boy who didn't have a left arm went to a Japanese master to learn judo. The master taught him a very exciting judo throw on the first week of the training. On the third week, he was asked to practice the same judo move. 1 week later, the young boy learned the technique and practiced it over and over again. After 1 month, he could see other students learning different judo techniques. But he couldn't understand why, after all this time, the master had taught him only one move. Sensei, the boy could not resist and finally said, "Isn't it better for me to learn more moves?" The sensei replied, "Just focus on this one throw. This is the only move you know, but this is the only move you'll ever need to know." The little boy did not quite understand what his teacher was up to, but continued his training like his sensei instructed. 6 months later, the sensei took the boy to his first tournament. The young boy was terrified to enter the tournament filled with other well-trained and experienced judo players. Surprisingly, the boy easily won his first 2 matches. The third one was a little harder, but the young boy pulled off the technique, the only technique he knew, and won. The fourth round, amazingly, went the same way. The boy was weaker than his opponent in the last tournament, because there were a possibility that the boy might get hurt during the match. The referee called for a timeout, but the smart sensei intervened and insisted on letting the boy continue. In the same moment, his opponent made a mistake and dropped his guard. Promptly, the boy used his only move to drop him. The boy deftly used his one and only move throughout the match and the tournament that came out as a winner. On the way home, the sensei and the boy reviewed every move in each and every match of the boy, surprised by his own victory. The boy asked the sensei how he was able to win the tournament with only one move. "You won for two reasons," the sensei answered. "First, with several months of dedicated practice, you've almost mastered one of the most difficult throws in all of judo. And second, the only known defense for the move you learned is for your opponent to grab your left arm." With the boy's hard work and the sensei's sagacity, the boy's biggest weakness was transformed into his biggest strength. So we all can.